Hey, what's up, my fellow hunters and whoever wants to work on their own skulls? This is a little DIY on a restoration and how I do this one. So one of my customers, he also brought me this dead head that he's had for years out in the sun, and it just bleached everything white. Then I also noticed someone already had painted this skull and it's flaky. So I'm gonna finish, I'm just doing some fine grit sandpaper. I'm gonna smooth out this skull. The actual skull now, I'm gonna hit with just a flat white. This is a paint and primer mix. So I'm gonna hit the skull with the white. Now, the antlers, you gotta bring back the color. So the bases are gonna, obviously the bases are gonna be darker than the rest. Then when these grooves in here, these indents, I'm gonna use my acrylic paints that I've shown in another video where I touch up around the bases. So take these acrylic paints, again, the trick to that is paint thinner. Get some lacquer thinner and just thin out the paint. It blends it and it kind of smears it into those crevices. So the colors I'm going to be using are classic caramel, melted chocolate, and burnt umber. These are going to be the three colors that I'm going to use, and I'm going to start adding some base color to the antlers. Once I use the acrylic paints and I get a base, then I'm going to use early American, and then I'll finish coloring the rest of the antlers. I'm gonna start going in the lacquer. This caramel. Start adding some color. Just by, I don't know if you can see that, just by wiping it real quick with the paper towel, it starts already leaving those veins. So throw on some paint, wipe it real quick. That leaves the dark in the deep valleys already. So that's gonna look good as well when I add the stain. And this is just after the acrylic paints. And here, for comparison, getting real close to these other skulls, really close. So I added these acrylic paints. Now what I'm gonna do is add the early American, and this is what's going to just help tie it all in. Keep it up so it doesn't drip down on your skull. After you get that base, this early American just ties it in so nicely. What I like about the acrylic paints is they don't dry, they're a matte. I get the matte acrylics and they don't shine. Now, this early American, this stain, is gonna put a shine on it. But to cure the shine is after it dries, take some still wool. And rough it up some still wool. Alright, so we're gonna let that dry. We're gonna let this dry. We're gonna hit it with some still wool, and the still wool will help blend everything together, and it's also going to lighten that up. But it's going to lighten up as well as it dries and soaks into that antler. And then if we have to do a second coat for touch-up, we can do a second coat. But you want that, you want the characteristics in that antler. You want to see the veins, you want to see grooves and nicks, because that's what an antler is. So you can see all the different colors. An antler is not just all stain or all one color. Deer are rubbing their antlers on all types of different trees, and that's how they're getting all these different colors into their antlers as well. So it's not done. This has got to dry, so it's not the final product, but I'm liking the way it turns out. It's turning out right now, but still got to process. Take a couple steps. Stay tuned. Check out that top skull right there, the restoration. When you see that compared to these other antlers, these other skulls, it turned out so good from the before and after. Yes, painting it, it's whiter than the other skulls, but it looks good, and it looks way better than when it was dropped off to me. I hope you guys like this video. I hope this gives you some tips. Now, I have one final step. I use this. This is what I use on all my skulls after they're dry, they're clean after the peroxide. I do the same thing to this. It's gonna add just a little, it's gonna protect it, but it's also gonna add just that little bit of shine, but not. If you do, I've tried it where you actually have the clear coat spray, like a polyurethane spray. I don't like it. It makes it look plasticky. So the Mop and Glow works very well on the finished product. I hope you guys like this. Look at all the different colors in an antler. That's how a natural antler looks like. Taped off the teeth. Makes it look more realistic. It doesn't look good when the teeth are the same color as the skull, all white. So, touch up. So, you've seen how I added the acrylic paints. I mainly stuck with classic caramel and the melted chocolate acrylic paints. Added those in. Then I used some sandpaper, rough it up. It adds different colors. I've used a hand wire brush, scraped it up a little bit, and then I also took a wire wheel and really brings out the characteristics of an antler. So I hope this works out for you. I hope it helped someone out on doing a restoration. The acrylic paints, the matte finish, they dry very quick. Again, use paint thinner, work small sections at a time. Don't think you're gonna apply all this paint. It dries, so just a couple inches at a time. Take your time, add some paint, different colors. So, I don't know, tell me what you think. I am so happy. I'm ready, can't wait for the customer to check it out, and hopefully the customer's happy with this restoration. Cool. All right. See you guys outside.